fun begins.
How's it going?
Hello.
Well,
Greetings, young Jedi.
hello there.
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today I'm bringing you something a little different than ordinary, meaning it's gonna tank my numbers, but that is a-okay, because I am still coming down on the high of something that I did last week, which was go see Captain America: Brave New World. Now, I don't really talk Marvel super often on the channel because I'm a Star Wars guy, and while I love Marvel, whenever I talk about it, no one watches it, and that's okay. Sometimes I just need to scream into the void because it's therapeutic and it feels good and no one listens to me anyway, so why not continue treating me like a joke? But for real, I'm grateful for everyone that does watch. But Captain America: Brave New World, alright. Typically when it comes to Marvel Legends, I don't do a lot because I just don't have a lot of space for this collection. It would probably be my second thing if Black Series wasn't such a dominating first thing. But when a Marvel movie is so good that I just straight go and buy at least the main character from it, that's a good sign. That is a very, very good sign. So let's go ahead and get into the review of the figure, see what's going on here, and then at the end, I have a special Wham Bam 1-2 combo for you, because the second half-ish of this video is going to be a review of the movie, spoiler-free, relatively. So if I decide I'm going to do spoilers, I haven't recorded it yet. I don't know what I'm going to do. If I decide for spoilers, you will be warned, but I'm not just going to hit you. Let's get into it! So here is the box. Let's go over it in all of its details. So this is your standard Marvel Legends box. However, it is a deluxe, so it's a little bit wider. It does feature the standardized tapered edges, though. So you have a ginormous window showing Sam and his many accessories off because he is a deluxe figure. Marvel Legends up top. Captain America: Brave New World, the logo there. His name, a warning, 4+ Hasbro. Nice bluish tint to the normal black here. It's very American. Side of the box features a really cool promo pic of Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson's Captain America. Really love it. Same pic on this side, just mirrored. Up top, you have a little embossed Captain America shield. Love that. Barcode down below, a bunch of legal flop-up-bop that no one reads. Around back, you get a really cool promo pic of Cap helmeted up and flying. You have your Legend Series logo again. A bio about Cap. Go ahead and read, pause and read, whichever language best applies to you. There's 4 or 5. And then there's a bunch of legal stuff at the bottom. Very standard Hasbro action figure packaging stuff. I'm going to open them up, take a look at what's going on here, and let's get into the review. So here's Captain America out of the packaging. You know how we do. We always take a look at the accessories first, and being a deluxe figure, he comes with a fair few. I'm pretty satisfied with the initial quantity. So, for starters, let's start with the red, white, and blue shield, or red, silver, and blue, because, you know, we don't do white in the movies, but that's fine. I do actually kind of prefer the movie silver look. This is the second Captain America shield, as the original one was destroyed in Endgame, and Steve gave the shield to Sam, a rebuilt version of the shield, because Steve chose him as Sam. For all of y'all that are hung up on this not being Steve, this was Steve's choice. If you worship the ground that Steve Rogers walks on, this is his choice. Saying Steve Rogers is wrong? It's blasphemous, right? So, really loving this shield. It is very, very well painted, very cleanly applied, very metallic looking. The light shines on it, and I love it very, very much. Nice, thick plastic, no flex. It is a hard plastic. Flipping it around, they have gone back to the older style on this figure of having a clip for the wrist that then flips to give you a peg for storage. I'll show you the storage as we work through the other accessories as they relate. But I'm going to be honest, I know some of the older Marvel Legends that use this shield type had issues with like breaking on the clips. I'm going to be curious to see how this works. I know it's not a secret issue because I'm not deep into Marvel Legends, and even I know that they've had issues. So I just hope that Hasbro has open the tolerances a little bit here, basically. So we will see how this lasts. But it is nice. It is a very difficult flip, I'll say, which might make it better for posing, I will say. You probably don't want it super duper loose. So yeah, it's really cool. It is a nicely done shield. I'm going to flip the peg down because that's going to relate to other accessories. Alright, on to other accessories we're just going to work across. He comes with 2 swappable hands. Out of the box, he has 2 fist hands, which are probably going to stay on, but he has this swappable right hand that's kind of like a neutral pose. It's for maybe like bracing the shield or holding the edge of the shield or however. He has a swappable left hand where the fingers are splayed. This is his force push hand. Now, this would be cool to have him, like just pose, like he just threw the shield. If you had like the shield on a stand or something, that'd be really cool. So really nice swappable hands with a horizontal, not vertical hinges. So yeah, nice swappable hands. Do like how those came out. He comes with Red Wing. This is a really cool accessory done in a nice silvery plastic, and then the reds and the blues are painted on. This is reused for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier version. However, you might notice there isn't the little clear arm to make him float, so he has a porthole, for floating and no stand for that. The original one had a peg hole in the jetpack, like up in the corner, and then you can kind of have him like hovering over Sam's shoulder, and it's just not here. So this is kind of just a static accessory. It might be nice to maybe stick that on a wire and get a little custom with it. But Red Wing, is a really, really cool feature of Sam Wilson's Captain America, and especially in the movie and in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I just like how he was used, so I like this accessory. Great inclusion. He comes with a swappable helmet because Sam's cap does have a helmet. It is, I think we see it in the trailers, but it's another one of these MCU, nanobots that just goes and then it's covering the helmet. So yeah, not super like intuitive there, but it's really neat, and it is a nice blue plastic color with the silver painted on. It looks really good. I love the wings. He has a little bit of an oxygen tube coming to a mask, because when you're going as fast as you are, as high as you are, you definitely need a little bit of help. So I'm glad that Sam is planning ahead. So, and as you see, through the dark red lens, you do see photoreal Sam Wilson eyes. I really do like how those turned out. This is a really cool swappable head, and I'm liking it. Great choice, Hasbro. And then he comes with 2 jetpacks. So this one here is our folded closed jetpack. There's no tabs for the wings or anything. This is purely a folded up closed version. However, it still features a hole in the back, as mentioned, for storage of the Captain America shield. So you can peg the jetpack into the back like so, and that is a good look. I like how that works. Or you can push the shield on, and then he's storing it on his back if you're not battle posing him, which is really cool. We're going to take everything off. And actually, something that you could do, I don't think I mentioned, but technically it is the same size of peg. You could just put the shield right on his back without a jetpack if you wanted a left my backpack on the bus Captain America. So that's always a good option, I suppose. And then here we are with the insane accessory, the wings. So these came out really, really good. They have a decent amount of articulation, and something that I really, really like is there are some ratchet joints where it attaches to the jetpack. If you flip it around the back, you do see it very much looks identical to the other jetpack, which is cool. And the shield pegs in like so. That's how it would look if he were flying while wearing it. So you still have that weapon storage, which is excellent, but where it connects to the jetpack, there are little detents. You can see those little teeth in there, and you see it clicks when you articulate it. It snaps into the new position. When you have an action figure that has like clicky knees, when you're rotating and it's like position, 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 it's not, there's no like smoothness to it. That's what it looks like on the inside. There's teeth and gears and stuff, and it's just light friction. It's not, you're not stripping anything ultimately, but it's just ratcheting into place, and it gives you extra stability. These wings aren't super heavy, but it is nice to have that stability, I will say. They're painted very, very well. If I had to guess, they're in the blue plastic, I do believe, with the silver and then the red and silver up top added on, and they just look amazing. They feature, as I mentioned, all sorts of articulation at the jetpack. They can basically go straight up. They can go pretty decently down. I'll show you these poses on him, of course, but you have 3 points of articulation in the wing. They can fold it in about like that, and they allow it to go back a little bit, but there is a little bit of a natural curve in the wings to where it doesn't look super natural. So popping it on Sam, as you see, there is just a really, really good, just presence with him wearing the wings. If you bring them down to their bottom position, that's what he looks like wearing them there. And then if you go all the way up to their top position, it's starting to look a little bit silly, I gotta say. But there's a nice middle ground with anything, of course. And I really, really do like how the wings look. They are just huge and imposing and very, very cool. Something that I thought they would do is reuse these from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier figure. I'm going to bring that figure in here. And when you stand everything back and you put the wings behind it, you see these wings are larger. I really figured we'd have a lot more reuse than we do, but we have a new sculpt for the jetpack. We have a new sculpt for the wings. Like, I really was expecting, you know, basically the exact same thing we got, just with some different paint. And it would have passed. Like, that would have been acceptable, but they elected to sculpt it, make it a little larger, which I feel is a little more accurate. The old ones don't feel too small, but I do like this choice, and so I will always give credit to Hasbro where credit is due. Setting that off to the side, bringing in the Sam Wilson Captain America and just giving him a good look. This Anthony Mackie likeness is just cooking. I love it. Again, with the helmet, he is wearing his red goggles. You can see his eyes through them, and they are done oh so well. I love that there is a photoreal application, even though they're covered up. This is a great Anthony Mackie likeness. I love it, and just such a cool dude. I'm glad that they captured him so well here. Love the little beard thing he's got going on, the goatee, just super cool, and the hair is always on point. You have the visor's silver band going around the back, and it is decoed beautifully. Working our way down, this is actually a really cool Captain America suit. I really did like the choice of suit for the movie. Now, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier did have a really, really cool suit too. This is actually like directly from a comic suit, and I do like that. But and you actually do see this suit briefly in the movie too. That's like a, you know, it's a Marvel movie, you know, he starts with one, he ends with another, so they can sell you two toys. They just haven't sold this one in this package yet, I guess. But it's just really, really cool. I do want to show that they are somewhat inspired by one another. There's some similarities going on, of course, as you will. And as far as reuse goes, there's really not a lot. I figured there would be a lot of reuse like in the legs, but the thighs are definitely different just with all the sculpting and the line work. However, I will say the knees down to the feet, like the calves, are all reused from the old figure, but everything else new. Like, they did really, really good. I do like, you know, like, and again, like, if the boots don't change, the boots don't change, so why make new boots, right? So you know, nothing wrong with that. I do like that. It has these little ports in the back of the boots. That's kind of neat. But yeah, it's a really, really cool suit. I love it. It's a kind of reminds me of the like the Captain America the Winter Soldier suit, kind of. You know, it's got a lot of blue. It's got the Silver Star, maybe a little bit of like the Civil War suit too. You start kind of really blending everything together, of course, but you have the Silver Star on the chest, which is, of course, iconic. I love the little silver wings coming away from it. The red and white stripes on the abdomen. I mean, you're catching all the iconic points here, and it's just super, super cool. A little bit of dark gray as an accent color where you're not using silver. I love on this costume, actually, the little bit of exposed forearm. It's a little bit silly when you think of him being at, like, super cold, high altitudes, but it just looks awesome. I mean, dude has rolled his sleeves up and is ready to beat your ass, right? But he's got the iconic Falcon gauntlets, the little wrist cuffs going on here. Really love those. You see just a little indication of buttons on the inside. I love that. And then, of course, he has those fisted hands I talk about, getting ready to knock some sense and truth and justice into you. And then, as I mentioned, pants are really, really good. I like the sculpt. They've got some line work on them. I mean, it's not just flat. And everything actually does have this very faint kind of just a texture to it. It's kind of like a sort of like a canvasy material sort of texture, like a woven material. I do really like how this turned out. Working our way down the figure, again, those big poofy knee pads, but those do protect the knees. Always got to protect the knees. And then the boots look really good in red with just a little bit of silver accenting. And then he has the black shoes, which are kind of decoed to look like Crocs this go around. So that's kind of fun. I will say, I want to point out, as far as the articulation segment goes before we begin, someone that I've really enjoyed watching on YouTube a lot the last several months, he's been around forever, but I've just been on a kick with his content, is Sir Dork. Great creator, love him. Go track him down and check him out. He does a lot of photography, which is kind of like his like niche. He kind of does like a light review and then a photography session on everything, and it's just super fun. And he has this like great like light personality. He's always just happy and upbeat and just talking about his toys, and I adore that. He was having issues where he was constantly tipping over backwards because he couldn't get the feet to point very far forward, and so I was hesitant on mine. But it's weird, you know, when it kind of does want to stop a little bit down, but a little bit of upward pressure. I don't know if he just is like afraid to romp or something, but you can get it that far forward if you push it a little bit. I don't know if there's just like a detent in there or something, but yeah, you can get it. You can get it pretty far forward. So if anyone knows him, pass that along. I hope he got a little braver with the ankle joint later on. So not saying it in a calling him out way. I love his content, but just it made me nervous about buying the figure and then having it in hand. I'm like, it's not that bad. So that's really cool. But running through articulation, it's going to be a little different than our Black Series articulation. The Marvel Legends does get a little creative with some stuff. So he still features the hinge with the ball for the neck, and I think that's still a perfectly fine point of articulation. I think on this collar style, it might have been harder to hide a double joint, so more power to you. It allows him to look that far up, and that far down, which is all right. Side to side, not a ton of pivot, but a tiny little bit maybe. His arms can come up about that far, kind of stops there. There's no butterfly joint. That's actually kind of unfortunate. I know they do a lot of butterfly joint. 360 at the shoulders with a bicep swivel, pretty good. Double jointed elbows can come way past 90, which is nice. And they're pinless. Everything's pinless here, which is great. 360 at the wrists. As I mentioned, all of them hinge in and out, no up and downs on any of the swappables. Features a abdomen crunch, which allows them to crunch that far forward, that far back, and then there's a waist swivel below that. It's hidden by the belt overlay, and it does a great job of hiding that, and I do like that. So really nice waist swivel there. He can do not quite a full splits, but pretty darn close. Pretty impressive cap. He can kick straight forward, back a little bit, upper thigh rotation there, and then double jointed knees can go that far back, and then his feet can go straight down, and then as I said, you got to push it a little bit, but it does go up a little bit, so it's workable. I can work with that. Really, really cool figure. I really love just everything about this figure from the design, and it's just excellent. To do some size comparisons, here he is next to the Black Series Stormtrooper, which kind of rocks in right at 6 inches. Here he is next to Bucky from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which, by the way, this has like one of like the best like Bucky likenesses like ever. Like why is this at Ollie's? Everyone go to Ollie's and pick one up. Like this is a great figure. And then here he is next to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier cap there, who is on a stand. I'm going to talk about that in the recap here, but that stand is kind of sorely missing here, not going to lie. So let's get to that. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the new Captain America figure? I love it. This figure is awesome. I love the articulation on it. The wings are superb. It is just a goated figure, really fun to pose. And especially having seen the movie and knowing that I love this movie, I'm just super amped to have it. So let's talk real quick about the stand. I gotta say, I'm a little bummed out that this deluxe release couldn't get a rerun of the stand that came with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier cap. It doesn't let him fly, per se. It's not tall enough that it allows him to get his feet off the ground. But while I have him in a nice pose here, standing, with his feet spread kind of far, you start getting any crazier than this, and he is a little bit hard to balance, because the wings just make him top and back heavy. So it's not impossible, but it just would be nice to have that stand, because let's be fair, most people are posing their caps holding the shield. That peg hole in the jetpack is largely going to be empty, and I would rather be using it for this little back brace stand. I know the stand's a little bulky, but just, you know, it's help, and it's reuse, and like, I totally get that it's adding cost, but like, it's a deluxe figure. I don't know that we're really benefiting by not having it. So that's a little bit annoying. But the figure itself, as is what we get out of the box, beautiful, love it, great representation of what we see in the movie, and it's just a great time. So I will get into my movie review now. I hope you are excited about it, and I just will say, while the figure is out here on the table, it's not a spoiler, but you know how sometimes Marvel movies like give you a new hero costume in the final 20 minutes just for the final battle? I'm like looking at you, Iron Man Mark 7, Iron Man Mark 45, like stuff like that. This isn't like one of those suits. Like he has a good bit of screen time wearing these duds in this movie. So if you're kind of like, I don't like these like limited appearances things, the white suit is the limited one. This is like the Falcon cap that you want to have for the collection. So really, really cool figure. I love it. I think that you'll love it too if you pick it up. So now, that said, let's get into movie review mode. Bye! All right, everyone. Hybrid movie reviews here. HMR? Question mark exclamation point? Nope. Still hybrid toy reviews, but we're talking about movies. Today, as I said in the review, we're talking about Captain America: Brave New World. Excellent movie. I'm going to keep this relatively spoiler free. Anything that I say spoilery will be at the very end, and even then, I'm just not going to straight say anything. So, just might start getting touchy there. But great movie. I had a blast with it. It is one of those Marvel movies where you ever like watch a Marvel movie and you're like, wow, like I see how they're setting up the next like 5 movies with this one. That's not a bad thing when they do it. I really do love the MCU and I love all of its little quirks like that. But this movie, at the end of it, like you definitely see like what Cap's going to be doing next, but it doesn't really set up a whole ton of other things. This movie is really about Sam Wilson's first real adventure as Captain America. Yeah, he kind of dealt with like Carly Morgenthau and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and great show and great adventure. But this is like, yeah, I mean that was just like a kind of a littler, a littler caliber, a littler tier event, and this is like a world-saving kind of movie. Not quite world-saving, but it's pretty high stakes for a single, superhero movie. I think that Sam absolutely shines as Captain America and definitely proves Steve Rogers was right in picking him. He definitely has that element, that air of being a symbol of hope for everyone in this country, no matter what side or line or anything that you fall on. Captain America is for the people no matter what, and Sam Wilson just does a great job of being that character, just like Steve Rogers did. And I gotta say, Anthony Mackie is the coolest guy ever. You can definitely tell that he was having fun with this movie. I've seen a lot of interviews where he's talking about how this is finally my movie. It's not just the movie that I'm in, it's my movie. And like, he definitely understands. It's a lot of weight on the shoulders, and I just think that he did a great job. And yeah, I'm just here for it. Joaquin Torres, who's the new Falcon, was a really fun character. I really liked him a lot. He was a cool little kind of side character in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Not gonna lie, I'm not like a deep comic book lore guy, so I didn't know that he was a Falcon like in the comics. So it was just really cool seeing him, get to wear a suit, and I thought he was a great side character. He definitely gives a good, yeah, you always think of your iconic duo, your Batman and Robin, and he's definitely like a really good side character. He's not helpless, he's not useless, but he just does not have the experience under his belt that Falcon has, and he desperately wants it, but he's just not there yet. And I foresee a bright future for his character in the MCU. I'm excited to see what's next for him. I'm excited to see what's next for Sam. The Red Hulk storyline was a really cool storyline. Again, no spoilers. I will say, I think that you kind of probably had this notion in your head if you've seen the trailers. Red Hulk is not like the big thing of the movie. He is definitely like a third act thing that they build up to for the first 2 acts. The amount of screen time is not huge, but the amount of screen time is very well used, and I'm definitely intrigued to see what's going to happen there next. I've heard people say they're disappointed in the amount of screen time Red Hulk had. I thought it was pretty good. Would I want more? Sure, but like what we got was pretty good. I like that a lot. We see Giancarlo Esposito in the trailers. I'm completely blanking on his character name, but he's the head of the Serpent Society. He was actually a really fun character. I liked him a lot as far as just being a dude with a gun. He was a pretty fun villain. I liked him a lot more than I thought I would. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Giancarlo Esposito fan. I love the guy through and through. He is one of my favorite actors, not just because he's now in Marvel and has been in Star Wars and stuff. I love seeing that guy in anything he's in. So I was really happy to see him in this movie, and it wasn't like a bit moment either. He's like the opening villain. You know how they usually open these movies where, Cap's on a mission, he finishes the mission, he goes home, and then he finds out about the problem. That's the problem for the movie. It's like, that's what he looks like at first, and then he just shows up again later on, and then you're just like, what? Like they did a pretty good job with that. I was on the edge of my seat for it. Won't say who. There's a really fun cameo in the movie that just had me just absolutely geeking. I was just so happy to see this guy, and it was just super fun. And yeah, I'm not gonna get into a big spoilery segment. I'm just saying I had a great time with Captain America: Brave New World. It was a super duper fun experience, and just I loved going to that late night, opening day premiere. Was absolutely worth it. I drove through a snowstorm for that. I did not know it was going to be a snowstorm until I got about 20 minutes down the road, and I was like, I probably shouldn't be driving in this. I should probably just go see this tomorrow. But, happens. At that point, I was already halfway there. It's just like, do I turn around? Me, I ain't no quitter. So, yeah, I went and I saw Brave New World opening night, and it was just the best. It sounds like this upcoming weekend I'm going to be going to see it again. Let me tell you a story to wrap this up, just a brief one from tonight with my sweet beloved Nana, who is one of my most favorite people on this whole world and honestly deserves a video. I might have to make a Nana video. But she told me tonight, I stopped by her house to help out something real quick. Because she is big into Marvel. Every Thursday we get to go bar wings and put on a Marvel show. And she told me, hey, this weekend I rewatched Falcon and the Winter Soldier because I keep seeing Anthony Mackie on all these talk shows talking about this new Captain America show. When does the show come on Disney Plus? She did not know that it was going to be a movie, and I had to break her heart and tell her you're not seeing it on Disney Plus for a number of months. So I'm gonna have to sneak her out to the movie theater this weekend. I think I'm gonna end up going to see a second screening. So got to take Nana to it. All of y'all out there, take your Nana to the movies. Go hang out with your Nana. Go see Captain America: Brave New World. It is a great movie that I highly recommend. And as you saw in the review, I highly recommend after you go see the movie, you track down the Marvel Legends Captain America. It's a really good figure, and it's a really good movie, and I had a great time with it. Didn't go into this with a ranking system in mind, but Brave New World, out of 10, 8.5. I have very little complaints. It's just one of those things where it's like, ultimately, like, it's not the most groundbreaking thing ever, but it's a fun time, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be the most groundbreaking thing ever. Like I said, it's not about the future of the MCU. It's about Sam settling into this very important role, and they did a great job with it. So, thanks for listening to me yap about movies. Should I do this more often? I normally don't really dig too deep into other stuff, outside of Star Wars especially. But, if you want to hear me talk about new movies, I basically just see Marvel and Star Wars, so I don't have a huge itinerary. But if you want me to yap about Thunderbolts, let me know. I will absolutely yap about Thunderbolts. I'll see you then. May the Force be with y'all, and until next time, have a good day.